Hey y'all. How you doing today? All right. What we're looking at here is the radiator that's going to go into the Ramcharger. This is a 3-row core radiator. It's copper and brass, as you can see, and this is the one I pointed out in a previous video. It was holding coolant. There was no leaks. It's just these portions here had came loose, which, like I said before, it's very common. I just soldered them back up. Um, Not the best in the world, but these things, they get kind of twisted and bent, and so you got to just work with what you got. Um, but yeah, this thing doesn't look bad inside. Um, it could look a lot worse. I mean, it's a 3-row core radiator, and I think it's going to do really, really good in that Ramcharger. That came out of a 84, 85, 86 Dodge truck. So D150, 318, yada, 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 that kind of thing. So, let's go out and look at the Ramcharger real quickly. The weather out here is not the best in the world. It's raining and cruddy and nasty and filthy and all of that kind of stuff. But I will show you what I have done to the wiring. Let you get a very clear picture of what's been done to the wiring. Pop the hood here real quick. Okay. Now, let me prescribe something. If you're doing any work on a vehicle and electrical work especially, and you're going to have the doors open for quite a while, go ahead and disconnect the interior dome lamps, stuff like that, because I'm going to tell you something. That's going to help you out tremendously. Okay. Now, as we can see today, everything's looking much, much better. That's bolted down, the ballast resistor, your the computer brain box. It is a computer. It's just for the ignition though. I've still got to repair this broken insulation. It's just cracked and dried and broken off. I'm probably going to use a product called liquid tape on that. As you can see though, right here I've got the grease on the underside of my connections on the box, that brain box. That is very, very important. If you don't have that grounded, you've got to have that grounded. If you don't have it grounded, it won't work. Okay, so just a little bit of information I'm passing along to you. But starts at and runs. I need to put some gas in it now because the gas that was in it, there was almost nothing in it, and it was but what was in it was like really, really ancient and old and nasty. So okay, swapped out the batteries, as you can see, hoping this one here will last a good long while and be pretty good, stout and all that good stuff. But still got to bolt down the valve cover. Still got to I took this valve cover loose to make sure that my timing was correct on my distributor. I've still got, if you look back here on the distributor, I've still got to hook up the vacuum advance. So that's something else I got to fix. And I think I saw, yeah, this vacuum cap right there is cracked. So I'll probably have to fix that too. Replace that. But got a little bit of work done yesterday. Had a couple little interruptions here and there, but nothing real big. You know, had to stop what I was doing and go do something else real quick. But, you know, got all the connections insulated, covered up. I use the electrical tape, but, you know, some people don't like that. They'd rather use the heat shrink tubing, but sometimes that's not always the best option. So, but anyway, so I just thought I'd pass on along all this. Oh, I put the ballast resistor on a little washer right there to kind of jack it up away from the fender. That way it cools a little bit better. So I thought I would do that. I've done that before, and it seems to work pretty good. On these electronic ignition systems like this, the ballast resistor is like the kind of the weak link right there. This is what I'm talking about for those of you who don't know. This part here is called the ballast resistor, and that will be like one of the things that will fail on you. And in this day and time, trying to get good replacement parts for something like that is getting a good replacement ballast resistor is kind of hard to do these days. But anyway, all right, so I'm not going to fire it up now, but I am going to fire it up when I move it. So I'll probably open this carburetor up. Let's see. Yeah, it's a Carter 2-barrel. I think it's a BBD. Yeah, so I'm going to be opening that up and make sure that there's no crud or nothing down in there. Clean that out, and I'm going to be hooking up the fuel line again, and I'm going to be, of course, putting some gas in the gas tank. I'll probably go and get myself I've got a clear fuel filter in the house in the garage that I'll use just to make sure that my fuel coming up to the carburetor isn't, absolute garbage or something like that. Okay, so tomorrow, if the weather's permitting, I will be putting in a radiator and hoses and all of that good stuff. So, all right. So I just thought I'd show you all this and let you see everything. But these ignition systems, like I said, ballast resistor is your weak link, usually, but the brain box can go bad too. So just to point it out, this is your ballast resistor. This is the brain box. As I explained earlier in a previous video, the brain box head on here was actually bad. So there you go. Now, for those of you who say, hey, you can do the same thing, but you use the Mopar distributor with the GM ignition module, which you can do that too, if you want to do that. That's another way to do it. I didn't want to do it because I don't have any of those ignition modules laying around. I have 3 or 4 of these laying around, so that's what I did. You can also get like an entire kit that has all of the wiring, all of the everything with it, and you can buy that. That's one way to do it. And I'll be doing this swap again on my 5th Avenue. I've got a Chrysler 5th Avenue. I'm going to do the same thing on it. But the kit that has everything with it is pretty expensive, and I don't necessarily, if you're watching your pennies, you need to be careful and not spend that kind of money, because you're looking at $180, $190, $175 for one of those kits. It comes with the distributor, the brain box, the ballast resistor, some of the wiring. It comes with that connector, that Mopar star-shaped connector, and it comes with that star-shaped connector that, here, let me show you. It just goes on one of these brain boxes right here. See, right there. But That's what I'm talking about. Now, you can, I was saying yesterday or a couple of days ago about how that this is a lot of these boxes are now 4-prong. And this one, you can see, is 4-prong. This one's 4-prong. But you can see that kind of that Chrysler shaped connector that goes on there. Okay. And then this one is dropped. Now this one is 5-prong. Okay, so this is one of the old ones, the old original ones. I've got one like this on the Barracuda, and does great. The funny thing is it's this one is got like a lot of surface rust all over it. The one in my Barracuda, the sides are actually rusted out. So the side right here is actually rusted out on it, but it still works. So yeah, the side rusted out. It still works. It still fires. It still does what it's supposed to do. But it's like, oh my God, how long is that thing going to make it? I've also seen, showed you this one the other day on a previous video, but I've seen this goop here melt out of them too. So that's something else to look for too. Something to look for if you go, plundering through the junkyards or your buddy's scrap pile or whatever, So anyway, okay. But yeah, tomorrow be putting the radiator in. So this guy will be going in tomorrow. New hoses, coolant, new hoses from the fuel pump to the fuel line, and a bunch of other little work's going to have to be done. So, okay. All right. I tremendously appreciate everybody's following along and showing interest in this project. I just want to get that Ramcharger running because of the reason why is because I'm going to be sticking something back, putting something away here. I'm going to be taking the Ramcharger and I'm going to be driving it some. So I got to get it running and driving safe, all that good stuff. The big reason for that is that this is going to go and get. I'm going to do a lot of work to it. Going to be doing some front end work, ball joints, control arm bushings, different lower control arms, and different shackles here in the back. I'm going to drop the rear end down just a little bit, and I'm going to drop the front end down a little bit more. And so yes, it is going to be sitting a little bit lower. So there we go. And that way I can have this a little bit more like what I want. Okay. So, all right. But yes, I do tremendously thank you all for watching, for sharing, subscribing, commenting. It's really, truly amazing what you all are, doing all that subscribing and everything and all of that. It's really, really great. I love it. So thank you so much. Really, really, really. All right. I've rambled long enough. I appreciate you all, and you all have a great one, and God bless.